What up guys, Supermel983 here bringing you another album review, and this time we're going to dwell into some more older material today, and we're going to be reviewing one of my all-time favourite albums and one of my all-time favourite black metal albums. I know you can kind of see a trend since I did Warden's Throne. I'm in a bit of a black metal mood, so I thought I'd do another one for you today. And today I'm going to be reviewing the debut album from Carach Angren, which came out in 2008, called Lammendam, and this is released under Maddening media originally, but was later reissued under Season of Mist. Now, if you're not too familiar with Carach Angren, they are a symphonic black metal band hailing from the Netherlands, and I first got introduced to this band back in, I think it was 2010, with a video that Infidelamsterdam did on Carach Angren and both their albums Lammendam and their second album, Death Came Through a Phantom Ship. And quickly, from when I first checked out that video and heard little snippets of both albums, I was quickly hooked onto these albums, and yeah, they have grown to become one of my all-time favourite black metal bands to listen to. I mean, these two albums and their two follow-up albums that followed that, Where the Corpses Sing Forever and This Is No Fairy Tale, are both fantastic albums. Then last album was not that great in my personal opinion, but I am looking forward to their new album, which comes out later this year. I can't remember when it comes out, but I am looking forward to it. But yeah, over the years I've been blasting Carach Angren quite a lot, and over the years I've chopped and changed for the first couple of years which was my favourite of their releases, but over the past, I don't know, maybe 3 years or so, it's really homed in to become that Lammendam is my favourite album of Carach Angren because just of what it encapsulates in its overall sound. But first off, before we get into that, I'm just going to give you the details. It's 10 tracks and runs around 42 minutes in length, and this album is a concept album based around the story of the haunted Lammendam, which is an old Dutch legend. And I've pulled up Metal Encyclopedia because they have got a description on there describing the story in a little bit of depth, because, you know, I'm not good at that sort of thing, of writing that stuff out and reading it, so I'm just going to read this one for you. So, as it says, there are many stories about white phenomena, women that are linked through old cult places, swamps and farms seen around the Lammendam. Everybody in Sinveld, I believe how it's pronounced, knows the story about the white Joffa, and also being called La Dame Bleish. Yeah. According to this legend, this woman was a maid who was murdered on her wedding day at Lammendam. The culprit was a jealous prince. According to the remaining legacy, the castle was burned after this, and ever since, her spirit has been wandering on the remaining terrain only at night. And that's what you see in the artwork, is a little, you know, rough representation of the ghost in Lammendam, and I believe it's a horse's eye. And yeah, so that's just a quick description of the album's concept. And yeah, so you can imagine that this album, it has a bit of an in-depth look into that story, and you would expect it to have a lot of creepy atmospheres in there and very lurking atmosphere hovering around you, especially once you've listened to it, or while you listen to it rather, and once you've listened to it, that you feel uncomfortable listening because of how creepy and, you know, disturbing it feels to listen to this album. And it did so for me, and it has done for many, many years, and that is what has grown this album to become one of my all-time favourite black metal albums. Like, the other albums that they've released have been amazing, but this one, in my opinion, is just perfect when it comes to not just symphonic black metal, but black metal in general. It has to have a little bit of a creepy, you know, rancid sort of feel to it, and this one definitely has that sort of feel to it, but it definitely feels, the way the whole progression of the album does genuinely feel like a story from beginning to end. It's got really really intricate tempos that are placed throughout the entire progression of this album that really like slow it down and make it feel like a genuine story being told. And I feel like it kind of, in some ways when I first listened to it, it kind of reminds us a little bit of Cradle the Filth in that sense. Not in the sense of like gothic or anything like that. It just felt very intense and very lingering when listening to it. Like, it's a very interesting thing to listen to, if you ask me. And overall, over the years, I've just grown to absolutely love this album, especially the production, because this, in my opinion, across Carach Angren's discography, has the best production, because everything sounds just so mighty, if you ask me, and it sounds a lot more heavier on this album, because I feel like the rest of their albums don't have as much of a heavy depth in them compared to Lammendam. I just feel like it just feels a little bit more intense and darker for some reason. It just really makes you feel uneasy when you listen to this album from beginning to end. It's absolutely fantastic. And especially on the first song, which is on this album, which is an intro called Het Spook Van Der... Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt that last word. It was only a minute and a half, but that creepy atmosphere just crawling in on you on that first song, on that first intro, just really sets you up to make you realise, like, okay, this is an album. This is an album that I feel that you need, on the first listen, you need to sit down and just take it all in, because you're going to miss, like, little parts and stuff that really captivate you. And from the minute the first song, the actual first song comes in, which is A Strange Presence Near the Woods, is the second song on this album. When that kicks in with the blast beats, that you just go, yeah, this is definitely a black metal release that I'm going to really enjoy. And I've felt that at the minute I stuck on this album back in 2010, and quite frankly, it has stuck with me all these years. And from that moment, I always remember that first blast beat kicking in, and I was just like, oh, it's just so goddamn good. And just in general, like, the little, like, segments in the middle of, like, verses and stuff that really slow down the tempo and maybe make it swing a little bit, just really make it so captivating to listen to. Like, and I really think that sets them apart in symphonic black metal and black metal in general, because the way they write the songs, they just really do feel like stories being told, and it's just something that can mesmerize you when listening to, and this just makes that album all that more sweet, if you ask me. But it does definitely have that kind of haunting aspect, especially on that third song, Haunting Echoes from the 17th Century. Yeah, just the whole swaying vibe on that song is just, oh, it's just so goddamn, it's not even fun to listen to, it's just interesting as fuck, man. Like it's, I've never felt it so much on an album than I did with this album. I mean, it's crazy. And then the fifth song, which is like a kind of like interlude, like a prelude into the Carach Angren called Haunting Melting Flesh, is just, oh, that interlude gave me fucking nightmares when I first heard that, and I still have creepy memories of that song being played. And honestly, I absolutely love that little because it's just the little skit in it is just, oh, it's just so menacing to listen to, especially with I'm forgetting his name now, but the singer's voice. It's not like it's very throaty sound, and it's just gargly as fuck, and it just sounds so menacing, like very menacing and creepy and gritty. Oh, I absolutely, what's his name again on here? Seragor. Oh my god, his vocal delivery is absolutely fantastic. And obviously the first song that I heard on that video of Infidelamsterdam was the Carriage Wheel Murder, which is still my favourite song on this album, because it just the way it builds up and then just comes in just after that, like, it just hits that sweet spot in me, and it just makes us just shiver and just fall in love with this album. I mean, fucking hell, what a song, man. What an absolute song. I always get giddy when I think about that song. It's such a good song. If you haven't heard it, make sure you do. But yeah, make sure you hear this entire album. And yeah, that flows into Corpse in a Nebulous Creek, another creepy as fuck song. Like, the whole atmosphere on this album, it just depicts the story, and you just feel like the torture being said, the twistedness behind it, and just the whole, like, creepy atmosphere that lurks in this album is just absolutely incredible. And then you get flow through the other tracks into the outro, which is La Malédiction de la Dame Blanche. Yeah, that outro, it's a song with an outro, and just the way it concludes like that is just like, you just go, wow, that was a fucking experience. And when you read the lyrics and follow the story, and then you're looking at the artwork, it's just something else, man. It's an absolutely pleasurable listen from beginning to end. And the last 3 tracks that are, if you get the Season of Mist reissue, the last 3 bonus tracks on this release are from the band's former EP, the one that came just before this album. And yeah, those tracks are absolutely incredible as well. But this album in general is absolutely fantastic, and the musicianship is incredible stuff. The drum work is absolutely, the blasts are ridiculously fast, and the grooves and the little intricate parts that build up the story and lock in with that the sims and the samples in the background coming from the keyboards and stuff, just locked in that musicianship is just unbelievable. Like, the musicianship on this album is another fucking level, man. Like, this really set Carach Angren on an absolute journey, if you ask me. And every album is a fucking journey, but this one definitely takes it for me with the musicianship. And as I said, Filth, his vocals are absolutely incredible, but his guitar, because he does guitar, lyrics, and vocals, his guitar work is absolutely airtight, like air fucking tight, man. Like, just the right hand action on like some of the gallops and thrashier sort of gallops are just beckon me, man. Like, and they make us think, it just put us in awe just listening to it. And overall, and Namtar is the drummer, by the way, on this album, or Namtar, sorry, which I don't believe he's in the band anymore. But yeah, the 3 musicians, there's no bass on this album as far as, well, there's bass being played sessionally by, what's his name, Patrick Dimani. Yeah, I'm not good at pronunciation, but there's loads of classical musicians playing, adding their flavour to this album. Just the compositions are just something to go by, man. They're just absolutely incredible, and they create this really intricate story and make it feel like you are listening to some creepy ghost story, and that for me is something absolutely incredible to listen to. And this album from beginning to end is absolutely incredible, and it's definitely become one of my all-time favourite albums, so much so that I have it tattooed on my arm, and it's still one of my favourite tattoos on my arm. I mean, I want to get more tattoos and stuff, but yeah, this one is definitely a standout for me. Absolutely love it, and every time I listen to this album, it gives us chills, and it's something to bear witness to, if you ask me. It's something that has definitely stayed with me for the past 10 years since I discovered it, and it's grown to become one of my all-time favourite albums. So if you're a fan of the likes of Cradle of Filth, for example, or Dimmu, Borgir, or Fleshgod Apocalypse, you will find something to love about these guys. These are absolutely incredible musicians, and their debut album is definitely something amazing. So yeah, let us know what you think of this album. Did you think it was absolutely amazing? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you want us to do a review of any of the other Carach Angren albums, I'll do a review on This Is No Fairy Tale, Where the Corpses Sing Forever, or Death Came Through a Phantom Ship, and maybe the new album. We'll see how good that is. But any of those other 3 albums I will do a review on if you want us to, but we'll see what happens in the upcoming future. For an overall score though, surprise, surprise, I'm going to give this album a 10 out of 10. Absolutely incredible album. It's perfect, if you ask me. So if you want some incredible black metal, look no further than Carach Angren's Lammendam. Absolutely incredible. And I'll see you until next video. And remember, stay metal, and I'll see you later.